thick of a British summer. And of course, when you open the door and walk through it into your stadium, your team's home ground, it's so much nicer when the sun is shining. Another chaotic championship weekend is upon us, and the drama continues up and down the EFL. The race for promotion to the Premier League is heating up beautifully. And while some of the playoff chasers are being picked off as the weeks tick by, others are finding their form and settling firmly into the top six. These two sides are currently in possession of those coveted playoff positions, or thereabouts. They won't want to hand any sort of advantage to one of their rivals. This is always such a topsy-turvy division, and so it is proving this time around. Well, the two sides get to know each other a little before going into battle, so let's confirm the lineups for you. Former Sunderland boss Tony Mowbray freshens up his West Brom side today, making 3 changes from the last-ditch defeat at Norwich City last weekend. Tom Fellows and John Swift step down to the bench, and Grady Diangana and Mike Johnston come in as straight swaps. Mason Holgate has a minor knock, so Darnell Furlong returns at right back, with ex-Sunderland man Callum Styles continuing on the left. Another former Black Cat, top scorer Josh Madger, is still sidelined, so the Baggies' leading marksmen on the pitch are Alex Mowat and Carlin Grant, with just 6 goals apiece. Will Lancashire, Daryl Dike and Devante Cole are amongst the attacking options in reserve. So 3 changes for West Brom, but Sunderland are unchanged from victory against Millwall a week ago. That means that Alan Brown will continue in a defensive role, with Dan Neil and Joe Bellingham looking to take charge in the midfield area. Leo Hjelde and Enzo Lefebvre return to the bench after injury, where they join Tom Watson, who agreed a £10 million summer move to Brighton this week. And top scorer Wilson Isidore enjoyed a sparkling run of scoring form recently, with 7 goals in 11 games, but hasn't netted in the last 6 matches since. So plenty of applause from the home fans to the home team, and a few changes in the ranks today. I wonder who will step forward for the Baggies, Dave.
Well, with only 2 points and 2 goals in their last 3 outings, Tony Mowbray hoping they can start firing from an attacking point of view. And Mikey Johnson is back in the team. And although he has been a little bit underwhelming from a goals involvement point of view of late, he definitely has the ability to create, come inside from that left wing on his right foot, make things happen. Also links up really well with Styles, who has that space to get down the outside. But they'll be hoping he can just provide something a little bit different this afternoon. Sunderland, the captain Dan Neil played the most minutes of any Sunderland player this year. Still only 23 years old, but his experience with the amount of football he's already played will be so important in the heart of that midfield. He has lots of attacking talent around him, likes to bomb forward, so Dan Neil has to control the centre of the pitch. In possession, he is an excellent ball player, will receive the ball with confidence, got a lovely left foot. And it's amazing to see, at just 23 years old, he's already honing in on 200 appearances for his Sunderland team.
So the two sides are going to switch around. Tom Neil is in charge today. As the two sides take their place on the field to get ready for action, it's really interesting to note where they are in the standings. Sunderland 4th place, just behind the top 3, who are really scrapping for those top 2 spots. Comfortably ahead of Middlesbrough in 5th spot. Middlesbrough, of course, up to 5th after winning last night at Blackburn Rovers, which has bumped West Bromwich Albion, for now at least, outside the playoff spots. Today, though, is their game in hand on Middlesbrough, so they can look to use that and climb back in above that dotted line. So much going on elsewhere in the Championship, of course, today, and right up and down the EFL divisions. Drama at the bottom of the table, as well as stories at the top, and plenty going on in the middle as well. For Tony Mowbray, it's concentrating on trying to unpick one of his former sides in the shape of Sunderland, where he did so much good work, bringing on plenty of young talent in the process. Dan Neil will start us, and off we go, both sides in their familiar stripes. This was a Premier League fixture as recently as 8 years ago, and both of these two still harbour top-flight aspirations for next season as we enter the final weeks of this particular campaign. So let's see what happens when we put them together. Early defensive test for West Bromwich Albion, and for Alex Mowat sweeping it away. Sunderland looking to start on the front foot in the Midlands sunshine. Armstrong to put the pressure on Patterson here. Has to try and lash it away.
Audacious first touch from Patrick Roberts, although an offside was given. Flicks it with the inside of his instep. He'll be a man full of confidence as well, Patrick Roberts. He was terrific in their last outing. Played a big part in the goal. He'll play his way into some real form.
He is one of the elder statesmen in this Sunderland side. We often talk about the youth, the likes of Chris Riggs, 17 years of age, Joe Bellingham, 19, Romain Mundle, 21. But there's little bits of experience here and there around the team, with 30-year-old Luke O'Nien, Chris Mepham's 27, Patrick Roberts 28, and of course Alan Brown 29, who will look how this Sunderland side settle down in terms of formation, because there are options with their versatility. As Brown is taken down.
But with all that youthful exuberance, they can play on the front foot just like this. Alan Brown not playing his usual midfield position, playing as a right back, jumps out quickly, wins their side a foul, but you'll see Sunderland do this, very aggressive in the way they press. You've seen it early on, in particular those midfield players, Neil and Joe Bellingham, really pushing up high on the pitch to try and lock onto the West Brom midfield.
Alan Brown signed for Sunderland, of course, in the summer. It's still odd in some ways to see him not with a Preston shirt on after so long as a player at Deepdale. Here's the free kick given away by Armstrong on Luke O'Nien. So Patrick Roberts will search for someone in red and white. It's not one of his better ones. Easily guided clear, and Armstrong will look to launch the counter-attack here. Straight away the optimism grows around the Hawthorns. Romain Mundle trying to get back at him. And indeed, doing a very good job. Early signs are that this game could be a match that's played on the edge.
Yeah, it started fast, hasn't it? West Brom just trying to get away quickly if Adam Armstrong didn't quite get the support up to him quick enough. Looking to use his pace early on. He's another one who's just looking to try and find a bit of form in front of goal. Tony Murray was hoping he'd be the answer to some of their attacking problems they've had. Hasn't quite hit the ground running, but he has so much experience at this level. He's scored so many goals at this level as well. These West Brom fans be hoping he comes good.
And of course he scored the most important goal last season, if you like, towards the end of the season in the Championship playoff final, helping Southampton past Leeds United in the final at Wembley. Leeds United will be hoping that this season they can get the job done automatically, but it's not straightforward in those top three spots at the moment. And you mentioned goals. Interestingly, for West Bromwich Albion, they've played 19 home league games this season before today, and only scored 25 goals in those 19 home games. Certainly when you're going for promotion, it's about exerting authority on matches in your own backyard. And albeit, obviously there have been some promising results leading to their place in the table, the goals have not flowed.
No, they haven't. A lot of those games have been draws as well, which a little bit more clinical in front of goal. Might have been able to take a few of those games away from the opposition before they're able to get back into them, which would result in some more points. But they're still right in the mix.
Here go the home side, Mikey Johnston prodding it on towards Diangana. He found there was no way past Chris Mepham. Talk about the versatility in the Sunderland ranks, but likewise in the blue and white of West Bromwich Albion, various different attacking formations that could be used today by Tony Mowbray, with the likes of Diangana and Johnston and Armstrong and Grant, and of course supported by the midfield runs of Mowat and Malumbi. Here's Callum Stiles. He picks it up again from Alex Mowat. A nice switch of play to find the returning Darnell Furlong. Diangana now, trying to tiptoe through the challenges, and he's managed to keep hold of it somehow. It's a really good run from him. Stopped at the last. The locals wanted the ball to be struck towards goal there. There were a fair few bodies, though, in the way. So West Brom decide to keep it and reuse it. Armstrong. Mowat. Armstrong again, although they weren't quite on the same page. Situation rescued by Malumbi. He was happy to take it on and then gives it straight back. And very nearly a clinical counter.
Yeah, this is good from West Brom, though, sustaining the attacks. They're in good positions from a defensive point of view when they are attacking, meaning they can win the ball straight back when they have given it away. Really pushing this Sunderland team back towards their own goal.
Here they go again with Furlong. That could have quite easily bounced to the feet of Adam Armstrong. Anthony Patterson grateful to plunge upon it.
Lots of joy down that right-hand side early on in this game. Diangana, just that underlapping run from Furlong, cuts it back into a dangerous area. Chris Mepham's in an excellent position because Adam Armstrong's there waiting to try and finish off the opportunity.
Brown caught in a bit of a quandary. Manages to find a way out of trouble. A lovely switch of play from Roberts to Hume, who took his goal against Millwall really well. A super finish, really well controlled. Second goal of the season for him.
He's had a brilliant season, Trey Hume. And the goal was excellent, well worked off the training ground. Still a tough finish when it came to him.
And from Mundle, looking for the run of Isidore, and it's tucked away and behind for a Sunderland corner. It's a corner that Trey Hume will take, serenaded in the typical manner by the travelling Black Cats fans. Forward comes Luke O'Nien and Chris Mepham as well, trying to arrive in the penalty area undetected. Cleared away by Malumbi, and as far as Mundle, who can produce the goods from there, but I think seemed to be caught in two minds as to what to do.
Yeah, that wasn't like Mundle at all, was it? Seemed to score an unbelievable goal recently, but that was far from it as it comes out. Like you said, I think he does get caught in two minds. Is he just going to try and help it back into the box? Does he want to shoot? In the end, he does neither. He sails harmlessly behind for a West Brom goal kick.
Well, he scored once last season, but he's got 5 this time around, Romain Mundle. Only Eliza Mayenda and Wilson Isidore have scored more goals for Sunderland this season. As you say, capable of the spectacular. I'd imagine next time an opportunity comes to him, he's a bit more direct with his thinking. Up it goes towards Isidore. Dealt with by Kyle Bartley, and that'll be a Baggies free kick. I know we and indeed many others have said this before, but it's remarkable to think that Chris Rigg is such an important part of the plan with Sunderland at the age of 17, not 18 until June. It's a searching ball which will just skip away from Mundle and into the gloves of Joe Wildsmith. Here come West Brom with a bit of a spring in their step. Johnston Nice little jinking run. And the path to goal was blocked. Rescued by Grant. For Johnston again, looking lively on his return to the starting lineup. Certainly looks in the mood today. Supported here by Carlin Grant. Mowatt's ball in, and Furlong was hoping that he could charge in on it.
Yeah, Mikey Johnson has the first real opportunity for West Brom. This is exactly where he wants to be, backing up the fullback into the box. Everyone knows he wants to come in on that right foot, but it's still so hard to stop. The way he jinks, little step over, little sway of the shoulder, tries to off-balance Brown. Does that, gets his half a yard, but just closed up at the last moment for him. But that is the area West Brom will want to get Mikey Johnson in against Alan Brown, who's not necessarily a full-back. It's not an easy task for the ex-Preston man to try and handle Mikey Johnson in those situations.
Seems to be the early tactic, doesn't it, from West Bromwich Albion? Get the ball down to Johnston against Brown and test his nerve and ability in this particular position. On that particular occasion, his strike was blocked by his own man, Carlin Grant. A really interesting 12 minutes have passed so far. Malcolm stepping in, Mowat winning it back up towards Isidore, but he can't take it with him. It's all a little bit harum-scarum at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and that's suiting West Brom. They're able to just show a little bit more dominance, a bit more on the front foot. As Johnston goes again.
And feeds Carlin Grant with a few options in the middle, and Patterson had to be strong for that one, and has to react here as well, and they're throwing their bodies in the way. Some heroic defending in there means that Sunderland survive. With two players down, the referee is forced to call a halt to proceedings.
Yeah, that was another chance for West Brom, and it was Furlong who was on the end of it, who does extremely well to control his volley, but here it is in the build-up. Grant down that left-hand side, and it ricochets up to Patterson, makes a good punch, but the technique from Furlong is excellent as it pops up in the air. It's really important you watch it all the way down onto your foot. So easy to snatch at this chance early on, but he gets it on target. From that point it could have gone anywhere, but it's Mepham again. He made a block earlier in the game. He's the man in the right position again. Important positioning from Chris Mepham. And he keeps the score at 0-0.
I think Patterson ended up on the ground because he was landed on by Grady Diangana. Mikey Johnston was caught as well in the melee. Both seem okay to carry on. As you say, great positioning by Chris Mepham, experience showing really there. Tucking in behind his goalkeeper, who was the man coming to Sunderland's aid initially.
It's important to have experience on the pitch, and they do have that in that centre-back pairing with Luke O'Nien and Chris Mepham, but that's twice now Chris Mepham has found himself in the right place at the right time, and that's not by chance, that's from know-how and knowledge. As soon as that opportunity comes, he gets back on that line, defensive instincts kick in.
It's interesting that we've had such a lively start here, because both these two sides have been draw specialists a little of late. West Brom don't score many at home, Sunderland don't score many away, so both sides trying to do what they can to liven things up in the opening stages. Here's Mepham. That's loose. Given away by Alan Brown. Mowat moves it on to Diangana, who has Malumbi ahead of him. Hegham now for Callum Styles. Molumby trying to juggle it through, but it's watched all the way by Bellingham initially. But no foul. Dan Neil, Tom Neild giving him the verdict up close and personal. Plucked forward by Johnston. Grant is after it, but so was Mepham.
To be on his toes quite a few occasions. Chris Mepham covering in a really good position. But lovely pass, lovely run from West Brom to get into that channel, but good recovering position again from Chris Mepham. West Brom definitely started the better of the two teams.
Space here for Diangana, whipped in by Johnston. Callum Styles. Hartley's header, and not the strike that the locals were looking for. Alex Mowat, unusually for him from there, not quite getting it right.
Yeah, on his left foot as well. Drops out of the air. We spoke about the importance of waiting it to come down. We saw Furlong do that excellently earlier on, but just on this occasion you can see that Mowat just gets a little bit close to it as it comes back out to him, and then in turn just takes a shot a little bit too early, cuts underneath the ball. As you can see here, then just rushes at it a little bit. That's what causes the trajectory to go high and over that Sunderland gut bar.
It's the nerves that take hold a little bit at this time of the season. West Bromwich Albion have been, for a fair while, a major part of the top six. Challenge that wasn't enjoyed by Johnston from Brown, although he's quickly on his feet, realising he's not getting a free kick. Grant's after this one. Mepham at his back. Some good old-fashioned tussling going on out there at the moment.
It was a strong tackle, wasn't it, coming in from Brown? Always dangerous when you decide to go to ground like that, but he gets a good chunk of the ball, nice and clean tackle. Johnson, I think, was trying to make a meal of it to try and give the referee a decision to make, but he wasn't having any of it. Good tackle from Brown.
Sunderland trying to settle a little bit at the back, but causing a few of their own problems. Nico 9 just having to quicken the stride a little there. Diangana was caught there by Dan Neil.
Yeah, Dan Neil had the eyes on the ball, didn't realise players are around him and just catches him in the chest.
Armstrong trying to swivel into space, but Bellingham had other ideas. So important today that West Brom started a game like this full of confidence after recent results. The game just paused here because Wilson Isidore is down.
Strong from Bartley. Into the back of Isidore. Hasn't seen much of the ball in this opening 20 minutes. So they're not having the control that they would like. Every time they've won it, West Brom have been on the front foot, snapping into tackles, made it difficult for the away team. sure Regis Lebris will be looking for the side just to have the ball for a little bit of possession. Try and start playing in West Brom's half. But at the moment, the front players in particular from West Brom, the likes of Rigg, Isidore, Roberts, Mundell, very much on the periphery of the game.
Yeah, Regis Lebris appointed in the summer on a 3-year deal. He has guided Sunderland up the table to 4th spot. Used to play as a defender. And played for the French international youth sides up to under-17 level. Also has a doctorate in sport physiology and biomechanics. It's very much been making sure everyone should be where they need to be for this Sunderland side and getting the most out of essentially a young squad, which of course is after great work started by Tony Mowbray up in the northeast. Tony Mowbray today against his former side Sunderland, and in the dugout of his former side West Brom, and his current side of course, because he's in his 2nd spell at the Baggies helm. Great to see him back in football after an enforced absence through ill health.
Yeah, he was so successful in that first spell of West Brom. I'll be hoping he can recreate some of those moments.
Here's Grant, prodding it on towards Johnston. He's trying to angle it into a quartet of Baggies players in the middle. Offside is the decision here, rather than the foul that a few were screaming for. And we've got the potential to see some real flair on the field here today from these two sides, but also the potential for a good old-fashioned battle as well for the points. Both these sides can mix up the way they play. They've had to this season. That's the nature of the Championship. Diangana with quick feet, taking on Hume. Hume once again showing why he's one of the best fullbacks in the Championship. Calm play from Wildsmith. Well worked initially with Hegum. Johnston constantly and consistently the outlet. Mowat tries to win it back, but Bellingham is strong and direct and has runners here. Isidore and Mundell alongside him. Lovely work from Mundell. Mundell again. Oh, what a hit that is! Bending all the way, just not quite enough. But Joe Wildsmith was really concerned about where that was heading.
Yeah, he's got a history of finding the top corner from a very similar position. And this is Sunderland's best moment of the match so far. Started by Joe Bellingham, who marauded through that midfield, sets up the attack. Mundell links up with his partner, and as he comes back on that right-hand foot, just trying to guide it in the far corner. He's not too far away at all, but that's better from Sunderland.
Strong with just a little nudge on Luke O'Nien. The wry smile tells you everything there. It's not his first rodeo.
Yeah, just trying to get away with one there. Armstrong to see, just a nudge in the back. Pleads his innocence. Knew what he did. And the wry smile.
Just rolls away from Rigg, but he'll be picked up by Roberts here. A shaky moment at the back for West Bromwich Albion. And Sunderland's number 10 got in almost undetected.
Yeah, it's a fabulous pass initially from Dan Neil. Fires it into Isidore. Doesn't quite get hold of it with his second pass. Not sure if he saw Roberts. He was overlapping there, but inadvertently gets to the winger's feet.
Corner works out in favour of West Bromwich Albion, very much now on the counter. Red and white shirts have to scurry back. On goes Johnston. Grant does well in the end to protect it. Spent last season on loan at Cardiff City, Carlin Grant, 6 goals in 40 appearances for the Bluebirds. Of course, have relegation pressure on their mind again this time round. Starting the day inside the bottom 3 after the rejuvenation at Derby County of late under John Eustace. Just seen the Rams pop above the Bluebirds. It is a division that always gives us so much excitement. Excitement, that is, as long as your team's in the right place in the division. As a neutral, it is fabulous to watch.
Always drama, isn't there? Both ends of the table, we've seen that at the bottom. Lots of teams have started to pick up points. Luton, a big result last week. They'll be looking to try and get themselves above the dotted line, but then the top end of the table still all to play for as well, for the top 2 promotion spots initially, but then this playoff picture looks fascinating for that final 2 places.
Crazy thing sometimes about the Championship, and indeed League One and League Two as well, as you can often be sitting in mid-table, not too far off the playoffs, but also not too far off the relegation spots either. This is the state of play at the top, as Anthony Patterson takes a bit of a chance. As it all stands, West Bromwich Albion just a couple of points outside the playoff places. Sunderland comfortably within them, of course. Hegem is down here for the hosts. It's so important for the Baggies that they pick up their form, but also important for Sunderland that they maintain momentum going into the playoffs.
Yeah, we so often see it, don't we? The team which comes into the playoffs in the best form, even if they sneak in through the back door at the very end of the season, they're the team that become one of the favourites, and we see them get promoted. And likewise, you can see one of those top 3 teams, whoever it is that misses out on the top 2 spots, whether it is Burnley, Leeds or Sheffield United, it's very hard to pick yourself up again after the disappointment of not being in those automatic places, to go again against good teams in the playoffs, high pressure situations. It doesn't always work out for them. And Sunderland are a bit in no man's land in a way at the moment, that their place is pretty much secure in those playoffs. Unlikely they're going to get towards the top 2, but form is everything. Getting players playing with confidence to the best of their ability, but also protect them enough that they don't get injured. Very, very difficult for the manager to manage this situation, but you don't want to be going into those games after losing matches, so it's important they keep their good run of form up, keep winning games.
Strange injury this to Torbjorn Hegem, who started every Championship game this season. Just seemed to pull up, which is always a concern, rather than getting a kick potentially on that calf or Achilles. It's comforting to see him up and walking. Physios will always tell you that they would much rather see a player being kicked than pulling something.
Yeah, he seems to be moving okay, which is really good news for these West Brom fans. Important figure at the back. But like you said, it is worrying when there's no obvious contact.
So nearly half an hour in here. No goals, but a fair bit of huffing and puffing. A fair bit of attacking thrust from West Bromwich Albion in particular. Hegem is allowed to rejoin. We'll just keep an eye on him for the next few minutes. Bit of sustained possession for Sunderland. albeit with the pressure being applied. "19 away league games this season for the Black Cats. They've won 8 of those. Five draws and 6 defeats on their travels. Looking to take the game to West Brom here with Roberts. Loves to cut in, and the strike was deflected.
He always wanted to shift it onto that left foot. Excellent work again from Dan Neil in the build-up here. Manoeuvres the ball out of pressure. Gets Roberts on the ball, driving at that defence. Little drop of the shoulder onto his left foot. Once again, West Brom get bodies back well to prevent their goalkeeper having to do any work.
Sunderland now with a problem, and it's Romain Mundle. Didn't seem to be involved in anything in the build-up there to the Patrick Roberts strike. The fact that he's pointing to that left hamstring is never a good sign.
Yeah, unfortunately, from being an ex-player, when you see the physio doing those sorts of tests, you do usually notice that it is a hamstring injury, testing the strength of it. There's the Roberts shot, but...
And you just see Mundle at the top of the picture. He's about to sit down. This is where he alerts the referee, but there's no obvious contact on him.
Yeah, this is one you can't risk if it is a muscular injury at this point in the season. Yeah, and Mundle's race is run for today. Big shame.
What it is a big shame from a Sunderland point of view. The comforting news for them is that they do have attacking options on the bench in the shape of Enzo Lefebvre, who's missed the last 5 games injured, but also Elisa Mayenda, who is going to be introduced in Mundle's place. Frustration for the 21-year-old Romain Mundle, but the 19-year-old Elisa Mayenda will get an hour to show what he can do. Corner is seen off by Malumbi. Hume picks it up. Moved on by Rigg for Roberts once again. Helped on by Hume. Out as far as Mayenda. He wrestles his way through and tumbles and gets the free kick.
Good start from the substitute. Aggressive, direct, showing his strength. Just looks to drop the shoulder and get it on his favoured left foot, and Diangana just buys the trick, goes for him, brings down Mayenda. It's a free kick in a very dangerous position now, but good positive stuff from the substitute with his first touches.
7 goals for him in Sunderland colours this season, and 4 of them have come against Sheffield Wednesday, who of course play in blue and white stripes. So we'll see if he can recreate that form against another team in the same sartorial state. Roberts and Hume pondering from this free kick with 10 minutes to go in the first half. In from Hume, all the way in! Well, he's got a taste for goals, hasn't he? He hit the winner last weekend, and he's hit a free kick there that was way too hot for Joe Wildsmith to handle. West Bromwich Albion have enjoyed much of this game so far, but it's Sunderland who lead. One of their stars of the season leading the charge.
He was on the end of a set piece in their last outing, and this time he is the man, stood over the ball, and it's a vicious, wicked delivery. He does what he needs to do. Puts it into a dangerous area, lots of pace, just waiting for a touch. That touch doesn't come though. And Wildsmith be so disappointed because he's got a good view of it the whole way. No one really gets across the front of him. Bitterly disappointing handling from the West Brom goalkeeper. Should have kept it out. The delivery was very good, but still, it's a bit of a gift given to them from the West Brom stopper.
Well, you have to wonder what was going through Joe Wildsmith's mind there. It looked like he was trying to punch the ball clear when there was the option potentially of getting two hands firmly behind it. He thought otherwise, and Sunderland are delighted about it. Wildsmith, of course, in between the posts for West Brom these days, with Alex Palmer having moved on to Ipswich. And as you say, as a free kick taker in that situation, you're putting it with a bit of venom into an area, aren't you, hoping that it'll either whiz all the way through or someone will get a glancing touch.
Exactly that. But I do not think that Trey Hume would have thought it had gone in that sort of manner, though. It was an excellent free kick. You're told to aim for the back post. He did just that, and then you hope that everyone misses it and it can still go in. But really, the goalkeeper should do better. Like I said, no one really got across the front of him.
Diangana moves it on. Furlong tumbles. Tom Neal, the referee's not interested, and gives the free kick the other way.
Sunderland players asking for simulation. Furlong knows that it wasn't a foul. You can tell by his reaction, he's waiting for the contact. He tries to leave his leg there. The contact didn't come from Hume. Newstroe jumped back up. He's probably done really well to get away without going into the referee's caution.
Well, I wonder if his reaction perhaps saved himself, as you say there. Had he stayed on the ground and rolled around, he might have got into trouble. He tried to get up straight away and didn't appeal for anything. Now the latest injury issue, and there have been a fair few in this first half, is Joe Bellingham.
This is another one which would be a huge blow. See some early signs of his dynamism in that midfield area, so important to the way Sunderland play. Still only 19 himself, but here's the moment where he picks up the knock. Again, nothing too obvious. I think it's that left ankle, is it? Does he land a little bit heavy on it, maybe?
Certainly seemed to be in the art of stretching, wasn't it? And then maybe the landing after that. He's the kind of player who won't want to miss a minute. Various options on the Sunderland bench, where there are only two outfield players over the age of 21. Isidore trying to claim it. It's Hegem, though, who seems to have shaken off his problem from earlier on. And Johnston, who started the game in fine form, has just dipped a little bit as West Brom have not had the ball as much. Foul by Neal. In goes Grant. In a hurry to get on with it, West Brom here. Johnston, nicely found by Armstrong. And a good solid challenge by Alan Brown, which wins the goal kick.
Yeah, did well, Alan Brown. Again, Mikey Johnson chopping and turning, trying to sell feints to the makeshift right back. And so he does sell him on the first one, but he gets back into position really quickly. What's important there from Brown, he doesn't turn his back, keeps his shoulders square. That gives him the second opportunity to make the tackle. Good defending, again from Alan Brown.
Oh, West Brom fans want a penalty, but they've not seen what we've seen there. And it's Patterson who clears in the final few minutes of the first half. There'll be a few added on, I'm sure, because we've had a few bumps and bruises and a goal and a change. Grant caught, but he was offside first. So just as West Brom thought they had a free kick in a promising position, it's whipped away from them.
Just some frustration starting to creep into this home fan base. Was a foul on this occasion. From an offside position. Things just look like they're going Sunderland's way at the moment. After what was an impressive start from West Brom, they weren't able to take advantage of their early pressure. They've just lost the momentum since that goal.
So important. I mean, it sounds like such an obvious thing to say, but so important when you're on top to get that goal or goals to make a difference. Here's Johnston, with 3 to look for in the middle, but he fancies this. And the challenge from Bellingham was of the last-ditch variety, and it made a difference. It's a corner.
Yeah, lots of grass on this occasion for Mikey Johnston to run into, but he's being closed down from Joe Bellingham. The athleticism to get back in. He does get his half a yard, but the recovering tackle from Bellingham is excellent. Important touch as Mikey Johnston just looking to fire it towards that far post. Important block by Joe Bellingham.
Oh, it's corner. Diangana trying to get free. Trey Hume came out of nowhere to meet him. Callum Styles here now. Pinged forward towards Diangana, who stayed forward and does possess quite the leap, despite his small stature. Johnston teaming up again with Carlin Grant. It's a searching ball, and Patterson lost it for a moment in the sunshine perhaps, but got enough on it to deal with it.
Yeah, he did well in the end, Patterson. Just got under it a little bit too much, didn't he, as the in-swinging cross came into the box, came for it early. Just for a moment looked like he may have lost it in that sun. Didn't take any chances.
The West Brom corner is swift. It's a good one as well. And on another day it might have got its reward of a goal. Jason Malumbi ghosting in, but putting it the wrong side of the post.
Big chance for West Brom, the best one of the game. Well worked set piece. Malumbi ghosts into that near post, and he just needs the faintest of touches. Gets too much purchase on the header. Really should score. Free header, wasn't tracked. It's an excellent run from the West Brom midfielder, but the finish was left wanting.
4 goals for him this season, and that should have been number 5. A very even first half in terms of efforts. In terms of possession, it's been West Brom's half. And certainly in terms of those touches in the opponent's box, West Bromwich Albion far and away the leaders in this game, but there's only one stat that really matters. It's the one in the top corner of the screen, and it's Sunderland who lead going into the final minute of the first half.
Yeah, and this is a persistent problem, I think, for West Brom. Having the better of a match and not getting their rewards for that. We saw it at Norwich last week. They were the better team, had the better opportunities, but left themselves open for that one vital moment for Josh Sargent, and they end up losing the game 1-0. And Sunderland haven't had to do too much from an attacking point of view. West Brom have been the better team, but they still find themselves 1-0 down, closing in on half-time.
As you say, when the other team has their moment and takes it, particularly when it's in the 92nd minute, there's no recovery. Here's Diangana with a strike that was swerving and dipping all the way. Just wouldn't tuck itself under the Sunderland crossbar. We're going to have at least 9 added minutes at the end of this first half.
I said there'd be a few. I didn't think there'd be 9, but Diangana, wonderful effort, drives into the middle of the pitch, See what he's trying to do. He's trying to hit up on the ball, get the ball to swerve and dip and cause problems for Patterson. He does 90% of it perfectly, but just doesn't get it dipping below that crossbar. But positive play from Diangana.
Looking to try and get close to the 7 goals he scored last season. He's on 4 this time around. Added minutes, nearly a quarter of a half to add on at the end of this. Well, Tom Neild very clear there, telling Sunderland to cut out the time wasting. One of the old classics, someone picks up the ball, goes to take the throw, then drops it for someone else. And that's the issue, or the warning issued to Sunderland and indeed West Brom watching on, that he's not going to stand for that as the afternoon develops. Forward by Johnston. And the clash between Armstrong and Hume, or Mepham rather.
He's had a brilliant first half, Chris Mepham. Maybe that one should have been a foul, but he's been very aggressive with Armstrong all the way through the game. We spoke about his position on numerous occasions, but he likes to get tight, likes to get physical. Got the benefit of the doubt on that occasion, but an excellent opening 45 minutes from Chris Mepham.
A player who was released by Chelsea when he was 14 and joined the youth system at Brentford. And of course, since then has gone on to play for Bournemouth, and indeed internationally for Wales at Euro 2020 and the last World Cup in Qatar. Diangana on for Malumbi, who's challenged and indeed fouled by Mayenda.
Just overrun the ball, and that allowed Mayenda the opportunity to nip in, but he doesn't time his tackle well.
Furlong couldn't keep it the right side of the line. He's in today for Mason Holgate, who started the Norwich City defeat. Holgate and indeed Isaac Price, who was a substitute unused at the last game at Carrow Road, ruled out today with minor knocks. Nothing serious, says Tony Mowbray. Johnston renewing the rivalry with Brown. On for Grant, for Johnston again. Woken up initially by Rigg, who now looks to set Isidore away. The path to goal blocked by Hegham.
It all started with good defending from Sunderland. One thing they've managed to do well is when Mikey Johnston gets the ball, there's no doubt he is the danger for them, and they manage to get lots of bodies around him quickly. They win the ball back. Rigg sparks this counter-attack. Isidore gets the byline, but well watched by Hegham. They turn that defence into attack very quickly.
Luke O'Nien on the prowl as the wind decides to move Patrick Roberts' corner ball. It is one of those days where it is swirling around at ground level. And it's affected the corner, but it very nearly worked out in Sunderland's favour anyway.
Lots of arguing. Poor corner in from Roberts. And inexplicable really at the front post to almost both leave it. Hegham wasn't sure about it. Malumbi wasn't sure about it, and in the end it's an important touch from Wildsmith. Hegham is the one on his left foot as well. You feel that he should come onto that and clear it initially. very dangerous to leave it.
Well, Luke O'Nine's ended up in the back of the net here. In typical Luke O'Nine fashion, a forward roll of some style. He's trying to unsettle Joe Wildsmith here. And Tom Neild is trying to sort it all out. Luke O'Nine, a player who does love to get under the skin of his opponents. Every now and again with a bit of a comedic edge.
Theatrical, to say the least, from Luke O'Nine.
And eventually the free kick is given against Sunderland for a bit of nonsense in the middle.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just want to put the ball underneath the crossbar. They went for the short corner. So the referee was aware of what was going on in the middle. And there's nothing there at all. It's very surprising, the referee.
Styles now trying to fizz it across, but seen off by O'Nine. Rigg once again starting things off for Sunderland. Nicely played by Isidore. A little over 2 minutes of the added 9 to play in this first half. How disappointed West Brom will be after the way they've played in spells in this half to have conceded a goal that was so soft, really, by defensive standards and goalkeeping standards.
Yeah, preventable, that's for sure. Decision making from Wildsmith was very strange, opting to try and punch it. So when it's coming in at that sort of pace, it's difficult. It's not like it's hanging there to go and punch. Getting the palm of your hand on the ball, although I'm no goalkeeping expert, would have been a better option.
Johnston. Nice touch to try and set West Bromwich Albion on their way. Styles with a good leap. But the header means that Sunderland have a goal kick and a chance just to wind down the clock a little more at the end of this half.
Once again, the switch to Johnston shifts it onto that right foot into a dangerous area. No West Brom attackers are really on the front foot. Maybe they weren't expecting Johnston to cross it as quickly. That can often happen when you have a winger that likes to go both ways. Difficult to time your run as an attacker. Styles on the front foot there, but Sunderland will be happy to see it go out for that goal kick. Happy to get in at half-time 1-0.
Mayenda. 3 waiting for the cross. He's wriggled free brilliantly. Roberts was there, but it was taken off his toes. There isn't too much time left here. If Sunderland want to make this attack count, they will need to get on with this. Or is it a case of what we have, we hold? Hume's ball over. We're in borrowed time at the end of added time now. And that is that. And West Brom's worries continue in the promotion picture at half-time. The Baggies bossing much of the first half, but conceding through Trey Hume's second goal in a week. A dipping, venomous free kick, which Joe Wildsmith just couldn't deal with in the West Bromwich Albion goal. And for all the effort put in by the home side,
Become difficult. Adam Armstrong has been given the benefit of the doubt in recent weeks. Tony Mowbray has stuck with him. Obviously, in the absence of Josh Matcher as well, it's been a huge miss for them. They're hoping he'll be back for the playoffs if they can get into them.
yeah, he averages a goal every other game, Josh Madger, which is why he's been doing so well and has been so threatening. 26 appearances, 26 starts in the Championship, 12 goals. West Bromwich Albion have been out here for a little while now. Tom Neild, the referee, is trying to blow the whistle to hurry Sunderland up here. It's a tricky situation for the officials here, because the system is that the referee will ring the bell for the two teams to come out, then he'll ring it again, and there's a certain amount of time where they have to come out or there will be repercussions. Dan Neil, as captain, gets the talking to there from the referee. Maybe a little bit of mind games going on, maybe a bit of poor timekeeping, perhaps a bit of both. Either way, West Bromwich Albion will start us for the second half. Adam Armstrong gets the ball rolling in the second half. That is crucial for West Bromwich Albion here. They need to turn their positive attacking play in this game into some tangible reward. Goal or goals required in this second half to make a difference to the day and the table. Sunderland quite happy if it ticks along like this. No changes in terms of personnel at half-time. The one change in that first half remained Mundell going off injured, replaced by Eliza Mayenda. Good to see all those who picked up knocks in that first period all back out for the start of the second half.
It's a really big 45 minutes of West Brom. Try and wrestle their way back into that top six. Results of late haven't been fantastic. 2 draws, and obviously the loss at Norwich. Need to get back to winning ways as quick as possible. You don't want to be left chasing that top six as well. You want to stay in touch. You want to be the team in those playoff places, but if you're not, you want to be hot on the heels. At the moment, the form suggests from West Brom that they're just falling a little bit as we get to the pressure end of the season.
Here goes Carlin Grant. I thought he was going to get a corner, but it's a goal kick and there aren't any complaints.
Yeah, you don't have to be saying all of that. I will say his performances haven't been that bad though. It's just getting themselves a goal. Good attacking play, lovely ball for Carlin Grant, but just unfortunate the way it bounces back off him. They really need a goal.
Here they go in search of something. It's Alex Mowat to Jason Mulumby, who had that golden chance in the first half. Diankanu had a few goes himself. Out as far as Grant. Back here for Johnston. Cross that caused some issues for Sunderland, but eventually it's seen away. Bartley across to Hagen. Mowat for Diangana. Trey Hume stepping in. When you look at the form table over the last 5 games in the Championship, West Bromwich Albion are 13th, very much mid-table. Sunderland 5th in that particular form table, and joint at the top, Burnley and Sheffield United, which tells a story. Tucked in just behind them, Derby County, who've done great things under John Eustace. In from Furlong. Scooped away by Sunderland. Callum Stiles looking to calm down the counter. Grant. Mulumby. On from Mowat. It's out off Johnston. It's all become a little bit messy and scrappy.
Yeah, absolutely. Been another good start from West Brom, though. They've been the team on the front foot, trying to push Sunderland back. The start of the second half, just lacking a little bit of quality at the moment. Not quite seeing the incisive passing we were seeing at the end of that first half from West Brom when they were creating chances.
And that's a loose one from Kyle Bartley. Goes Rigg. Sunderland just taking every opportunity to break up the play, slow everything down, have it their way, rather than playing to the rhythm of their opponents. Uncharacteristic gift from 09. Tidied up by his centre-half colleague Chris Mepham.
Yeah, that's poor from Luke 09. He's trying to drive into the space and then lay it off for Hume, gets it all wrong. Pass wasn't great from Dean Garner, but once again Chris Mepham sweeping up in a really good area.
Johnston creates the room. And bizarrely through in the end to Patterson via a deflection or two.
Brilliant dummy, wasn't it, from Johnston? Really sold a lot of that Sunderland defence, but then it ended up on his left foot, so it wasn't as convincing if it was on his favoured right.
Isidore waiting in the middle here as Roberts takes it on, backed up by Rigg. He was penalised and then clobbered by Alex Mowat. Looked a sore one.
Yeah, and he's baffled how he's not got a foul. Yeah, he doesn't do a lot wrong at all, does he, Rigg? Mowat's the aggressor. He's the one who catches Rigg.
There's Malumbi. Nicely played, and then Brown stepped across. Just seconds after making a challenge of his own, Alex Mowat's now in some pain himself.
Good positioning from Brown. Covering in from that right back area, he spots the run, gets himself between Mowat and the ball. Excellent defending. As Mowat stumbles and hurts himself, he just lands on the back of Alan Brown. He's caused Sunderland's number 8 a bit of discomfort as well.
Everyone up and about again, including Chris Rigg from the earlier challenge. And off we go again with Sunderland in possession here. Patterson steering it away from Armstrong. Dan Neil. He does control that midfield area so well for the Black Cats. Neil on towards Roberts. Through here for Mayenda. Hume. Oh, well, tell you what, wasn't too far away. Left back, right foot, nearly bottom corner.
He's confident, isn't he? Got the opening goal, man in goal scoring form. His body shape looks like he's going to pass it, and he just whips it towards that far corner. He's not too far away at all. Difficult to get the ball manoeuvring that far from the angle of his body, but he does it nearly. He sets it out onto that far post.
Back doing the day job defensively to keep West Bromwich Albion at bay. Alex Mowat with the West Bromwich Albion corner here. It's a testing corner which is dealt with. Mepham with the header away. Breakaway led by Isidore. Neat and tidy from Chris Rigg. Bellingham now on for Mayenda. Showed a bit too much of that to Diangana. He does well to win that back and set Grant on his way before Bellingham steps in again, once again showing his physicality. Isidore waits in the middle here, backed up by Mayenda. Diangana away from Hume this time. Neatly played into the path of Colin Grant, who was looking to try and give the ball back. Diangana. Mowat, Diangana again, Styles perhaps, and where's that heading? Only just wide from the slightest of touches from Adam Armstrong, I think.
Yeah, super football from West Brom, in particular Diangana, who starts the attack and then he sees Styles. Possibility for Styles to strike it first time, he opts to take the touch. That just closes everything up for him a little bit. Trying to get it towards that far post, takes a block, and then Armstrong knows nothing about it. He tries to direct it goalwards, but Diangana excellent in the build-up.
Before that attacking intent from either side, we were talking about Trey Hume. His goal today, incidentally, has equalled his best ever scoring season. That's 3 for the campaign now. He previously scored 3 goals for Linfield in a couple of seasons, but it's his best ever return in Sunderland colours. Indeed, this is the first season he's ever scored more than 2 goals in a campaign. Tangling of legs, Malumbi goes down. Alex Mowat moves it on. Likewise Hegham. Some of the delivery from out wide today has been very disappointing though for the home side. Isidore caught by Bartley.
Yeah, that was high from Bartley. I think he won the ball, but I think after his trailing leg went very high. Sloppy pass by Mikey Johnston, sells his centre-back a little bit short, and Isidore jumps onto it. Was it a fair tackle? Yeah, you can see Bartley goes high with that right leg. It's a dangerous tackle from Kyle Bartley.
Well, tensions are starting to be raised a little here. Hume was down a moment ago as well. Kyle Bartley leading the West Brom chance of trying to get Sunderland going a bit quicker here as time is ticking away. But the frustration's leading to a few to perhaps cross the line a little. This is, it seems, where Hume picked up his knock. For a moment there were bodies tumbling all over the place.
It's been that sort of second half, hasn't it? It's a little bit scrappy, very competitive, but a little bit scrappy.
And a yellow card has been shown for, as it's now known, delaying the restart in old money time wasting. Alan Brown shown a card, and also Patrick Roberts. The old trick of taking too long on the throw and passing it to a teammate has just cost Sunderland in that regard. approaching the hour mark, and it's still Sunderland's game. As you can see, plenty of positive signs from West Bromwich Albion, but without reward.
Yeah, the second half has been very similar to the first half in the way West Brom have approached it. They've been the team on top, they've had most of the ball, and they've had a lot of dominance, but just missing that final touch. You do feel the quality Sunderland have in that final third, that they are going to get opportunities, so it's important West Brom can take advantage of this pressure they've got, try and get themselves back in the game, because as it goes later on into that match, there will be more space for Sunderland to attack.
Well, there is going to be a double change for the home side. We're going to see Tom Fellows and Daryl DK, two of their attacking options, on the Baggies bench. Meanwhile, here's Dan Neil, trying to slot it through for Mayenda. Neatly away from Furlong, and there's a tussle, and the free kick goes the way of West Brom.
I said Sunderland would start to get a little bit more space as the game opens up. Once again, Dan Neil does excellent in the build-up, sets Mayenda away. Lovely weighted pass, and Mayenda gets the wrong side of Furlong. Just for a moment, it looks like it's a clumsy tackle from the right back. As he stumbles in, he wraps his arm around him. Mayenda feels the pressure, goes down. Was it Mayenda who picked up a card in all of that?
It was, yes.
That seems extremely harsh.
Referee, I think, looking at simulation there, as the West Brom changes have been made. Grady Diangana and Alex Mowat have been replaced by Daryl DK and Tom Fellows. So a case of fresh faces, fresh ideas. The fifth appearance of the season for Daryl DK, all of those off the bench. Of course, Tom Fellows has been a key part of the plan for West Bromwich Albion. He's only missed one championship game this season. Johnston through to Malumbi, who was taken down by Bellingham.
It was an aggressive change, or changes I should say, from Tony Mowbray. Lots of attacking players on the pitch now, a lot of emphasis on that man there, Jason Malumbi, to try and hold it all together in the middle of midfield. He wins his side a foul in a dangerous area.
Well, we've already seen a free kick dip into the back of the net from this kind of position at this end, albeit the Trehum effort was a little bit wider, but the same kind of distance to goal. Anthony Patterson trying to make sure his angles are right and his wall is solid. Alex Mowat, recently departed, would have loved a free kick opportunity like this. It's Carlin Grant, and Malumbi hits it. Seemed to take an age to drop to him there.
Yeah, desperately poor free kick from Carlin Grant. Expected much more. Never really threatens getting over the wall. Malumbi's coming onto a spinning ball, so he has to wait as long as possible for it to settle.
Darnell Furlong with the West Bromwich Albion throw, and he can hurl them. Seen away by Mepham. Malumbi once again swinging at it. Likewise Chris Rigg. Johnston, full of energy. One of those players who just doesn't leave you alone, a real nuisance in terms of the attacking thrust of the game, as Malumbi will pick up a yellow card for the locomotion with Mayenda.
he's causing West Brom problems. Mayanda never gives up on anything. Perseveres on this occasion, wins the ball. He's had to get dragged down from Malumbi. Frustration really creeping in now to West Brom's game.
Very easy to say from up here on the gantry, but so important to keep your heads in a game like this. A match that could prove so important to the final reckoning. Here come West Bromwich Albion again with Malumbi and with Grant. He loses the ball but gains a free kick.
There, he wasn't quite sure where the ball was. Lots of red and white shirts around him. Grateful to see the free kick given.
Tom Fellows. Bartley. Now Hegem. And on for Styles. Johnston. Daryl DK waiting in the middle. We've hardly seen him since he came on. Not sure he's had a touch of the ball as yet. Fellows. Turned behind by Hume.
You've had Mikey Johnson on the one side who's been causing problems. Tom Fellows, you'd imagine, would do the same on the right. Trademark step over to gets to the byline. Tries to hang up the cross. Doesn't quite get the elevation, but you'll see a lot more of that from Tom Fellows.
Comes the corner. Out as far as Johnston, into the crowd, and again, literally into the crowd.
Yeah, would have fancied the first opportunity, and Mikey Johnson, it comes out to him. Gets under control really well the first one, but as the second one comes back on his weaker left foot, never really in control of it. Cuts underneath the ball, a little bit too close to it as well. Can't get the leverage on it.
Here's Isidore. Sunderland are preparing Leo Hjelde, who's missed a couple of games through injury. He's down there somewhere. Fellows onto this, in behind Hume. Luke O'Nien swatted it away. Some optimistic appeals for a penalty kick. And instead the free kick is Sunderland's.
Mayanda again doing extremely well on that left-hand side for Sunderland. This ball just catches Trey Hume out for a moment. Fellows is onto it in a flash. But West Brom can't quite get bodies up the pitch quick enough to support the substitute. Just puts it into a hopeful area then. And then Mayanda as well clearing up the situation at the end for Sunderland.
So Sunderland are going to make a double change. And we're going to see Tamabani for West Bromwich Albion as well. Mepham's header to Grant. It is a Sunderland ball. It's just not going the way of the Baggies at the moment. Mikey Johnston is to be replaced. He has got through a fair bit of work today. He's
been effective, hasn't he? Just missing that final little bit. has been the threat. He has worried Sunderland every time he's received the ball. There's no doubt about that. He's just not able to do enough at those vital moments, where it's the shot, the cross, the pass. That's been the same for all of West Brom's outfield players.
A third substitute appearance in West Brom colours for Tamabani, and we're going to see the return of Enzo Lefebvre as well as Leo Hilda. Lefebvre, who's missed the last 5 games through injury, will come on to replace Patrick Roberts. Alan Brown gets a rest as the Norwegian comes on.
Trey Hume will go to that right back slot. Brown on a booking, sensible from Sunderland, and Regis Lebris.
Well, his first action is to see that out. Hilda away. Malumbi back to Wildsmith, who's seen very little of the ball today. Up towards DK. And now a chance for Isidore to stretch his legs. He went for the early strike.
What a first touch from Enzo Lefebvre. Plucks the ball out of there, sees the pass quickly. This is why the Sunderland fans are so excited by this man. Lovely pass into Isidore. He just tries to open his body up to head towards that far post, gets his finish all wrong, comfortable for Wildsmith. Good play from Enzo Lefebvre, who's operating a number 10 role. That's where the manager wants to see him more often.
Oh, that's got to be watched by Anthony Patterson. Tom Fellows just keeping the Sunderland keeper on his toes.
Yeah, step over and shift. You'll see that all the time from Tom Fellows. Very hard to defend. You know he's going to do it, but just doesn't quite wrap his right foot around the ball enough to keep it in play.
Still Coventry 1, Burnley 2 in the game in the Championship just down the road. Maybe a little strong for Fellows. Still Luton 1, Leeds 1 in the game that concerns both ends of the table. Both those games a little further on than we are here because of the 9 added minutes at the end of the first half here, and Sunderland's late appearance for the second half. Carlin Grant charging on, looking for DK, who's been on the pitch 11 minutes now but still hasn't had a touch of the ball. Could have had a telling touch there.
Yeah, he made the run to the centre of the goal. The ball didn't come into that direction, came behind him, but impressive play again from West Brom, still getting into good areas. Once again, just lacking when that final ball comes into the box.
Fellows towards Grant, once again towards DK. Up towards Fellows once again. Hilda saw the danger early. Sunderland having to dig in here with a quarter of an hour to go.
Yeah, defensive work though from Mayenda. Been so impressed with him. Really have. At such a young age to do so much work going back the other way. very strong. He's still only 19 years old, but seems to understand that it's not just about attacking. He's helping out his fullback on every opportunity.
Smith moves it on. Now Furlong trying to pull it back into the path of a teammate. It didn't work out that way. Final ball has been so frustrating for the home side today. Grant trying to dribble his way through. It'll be a throw. Darnell Furlong may well be interested in throwing this one long. Instead it's taken out of his hands. Danny working it in towards Grant, and there's Furlong. And again maybe. And he's late as he goes for it the second time.
Furlong so aggressive from that right back area. Finds himself in the box on numerous occasions. And as it gets pulled back to him, maybe West Brom are hoping it'd arrive at the feet of an attacker. It is Furlong though, on his weaker left foot, just pivots on his right, trying to swing that left boot at it. So again, doesn't look in control of it. It's a good pick out. We haven't been able to say that too many times from West Brom, but it is a good pick out. Finds its way to Furlong, but doesn't get enough venom on the strike. Sunderland once again get lots of bodies back, get behind the ball and make an important block.
He has scored once this season, Darnell Furlong. His thoughts may well have turned to bagging a second one there as the ball flashed across the penalty area. Scored in the draw at Leeds United. Now they would love to restore parity here. Styles with a cross, repelled by Bellingham. Up and under from Rigg. Hegem. And Malumbi for Bartley. Furlong. Now DK. And the ball wasn't there when he went to strike it. It was taken away from him, and then he followed through on the Sunderland player. That's why the free kick's been given for the challenge on O'Nien.
Yeah, it is a foul, isn't it? Much to the frustration of the home fans, but Luke O'Nien does really well to stay with him. Important block on winning the ball. And DK's follow through just catches the Sunderland defender.
Huge frustration around the Hawthorns, but they've clearly not seen what we've seen there, because that is a foul. It is a free kick, and it's the end for Adam Armstrong for today. Will Lancashire is on, and Diakite comes on to replace Hegem, who we did wonder in the first half if he was going to have to hobble off. Forward by Wildsmith. Down goes O'Nien. There's still plenty of belief in the home crowd here that West Bromwich Albion can get something from this. Plenty of time for them to get everything from it. Furlong with the long throw. Styles tries to keep the pressure on. Tossed in there again by Furlong, and Patterson will palm it away. West Bromwich Albion keep trying to make something happen. Kyle Bartley on this occasion.
Yeah, clever ball towards the back post. Bartley heads it back across goal. It's excellent goalkeeping, because he should make the save, but it's what he does with the ball which is the important thing, and he pushes it away from danger. Lots of West Brom players waiting for it.
Into the mix it goes once again. DK keeping it alive. And up and over the top from Bannett. Always going to be a difficult technique to get over it and send it towards goal.
Yeah, lots more effort, exertion from West Brom. Really pushing now to try and create a golden opportunity. Once again, it's happened a few times to West Brom, not quite set to take the shot.
Here's Malumbi. DK. And again. And he's poked it on through, but with a little too much force. Patterson was out very swiftly indeed.
Yeah, good goalkeeping. It's been an excellent defensive display from Sunderland as a whole, because they come under a lot of pressure. But they haven't been worried too much. And maybe the Malumbi chance in the first half.
Fellows now. Options gathering in the middle. DK is there. And just got to it a little soon to send it over the top.
Yeah, lovely ball in from Fellows. It's difficult when you've got a lot of time like that, a lot of space to run into. Can you pick the right ball? And he does just that. DK's got a bit of space. Fellows gets his head up, puts it into a good area. It looks like DK's caught in two minds. Gets himself ahead of the ball a little bit. Does he go with his chest rather than his head? It's another opportunity which goes for West Brom though.
"20 shots, but just 2 on target." That's the tale of the tape from a West Bromwich Albion point of view. Plenty of attacking ideas, but just a little blunt up front. And they've got 7 minutes to put that right. These two drew 0-0 in the reverse fixture up in the northeast in late November. Both sides cancelling each other out. It's been a game of more chances this time round, but only just more goals. DK sent sprawling by the already booked Joe Bellingham. Rather, I correct myself there, he hasn't been booked.
It's a little bit late on DK. He does well to bring the ball down, gets turned, gets running, and draws the foul off Bellingham.
That yellow card in question, of course, went to Patrick Roberts, not to Joe Bellingham. And Roberts has since departed. Malumbi's ball. Sent goalwards, but not with enough thrust from Kyle Bartley. He's always, as you say, trying to get it back in the mix towards target.
Yeah, he'll be disappointed with that. Gets himself up really early. There's plenty of time. I'm sure he's trying to head that back across goal to get some of his teammates potentially on the end of it, but too close to the goalkeeper.
foul by Luke O'Nien, who will have picked up a knock in the process.
It just lands a little bit funny under the pressure from Lancashire.
Not moving at 100% for sure. Does have a unique defensive style, doesn't he, Luke O'Nien? In from Grant. There's O'Nien who sees it away. Good defensive work again by Sunderland, who are clinging on to these 3 points here. Dan Neil once again.
Yeah, using all the experience he's amassed at such a tender age of 23, slowing the game down, and there's been a real maturity to this Sunderland performance. We've had to weather the storm on more than one occasion. Let's go long spells without the football. They've slowed down the game at the right times, and it's such a young team. To show that level of maturity is so encouraging for these Sunderland fans, especially if you're heading towards the playoffs. These big games full of emotion, you need to be able to handle those moments, and this looks like a team which can certainly do that.
Neil's touch. Broken up by Malumbi. Lancashire involved as well. Free kick against Isidore. Bartley, 3 minutes plus added time to go. Urgency needed, but quality needed too. Banny moves it forward. This is Grant. Styles. Diakite. Another poor crossing. We've seen a fair few of those, and then he followed through there, Styles. And gets a yellow card for his troubles, which just helps slow the game down again.
And once again, playing the situation perfectly, Sunderland. So frustrating as an opposition player when you're trying to get back into the game and you keep giving away niggly fouls. You can't gain any momentum. Ball's out of play, the opposition taking time over everything.
This is the yellow card for Callum Styles. The full-time whistle has gone at Kenilworth Road. It's Luton Town 1, Leeds United 1. As Dan Neil tries to tiptoe his way through, and the flag is up. And Burnley have emerged victorious at Coventry City as well by 2-1, which will be a crumb of comfort for West Bromwich Albion if indeed this game stays this way. Means that Coventry City haven't gained any more ground in the playoff spots. Bristol City, of course, to come this afternoon. They could jump above both West Bromwich Albion and Coventry City, and they host Watford, who are directly below Bristol City.
Every game seems to have consequences at the moment. Every fixture has something on it.
Styles on for Grant. Danny trying to keep it, but it's taken off him. They're going to have a minimum of 4 more minutes. And here's Isidore. Flag stays down against him. Mayenda screaming forward in the middle. Isidore keeps going and going, and Wildsmith has to stand strong.
Yeah, Mayenda was in acres of space on that left-hand side. Isidore didn't quite get his head up. He's looking to go for goal himself. Inadvertently works his way into a wonderful position. Goes for power, and it's a good stop by Wildsmith. But the build-up was impressive from Sunderland. They could have quite easily just cleared the ball, but they took an extra touch, manoeuvred their way out of trouble and created the chance. And they're edging closer to another victory.
Well, Wilson Isidore applauded from the other end of the field as he leaves. Grant wins the throw off Lefay. Wildsmith forward. On by Bartley, who's furious that no one read the flick. We've already had 2 of the added 4 minutes. The noise emanating from the Sunderland fans, who as it stands will very much enjoy their journey home with 3 more points in the bag. Back it goes to Mepham. And all the way back to Patterson. It's Sunderland's ball, and while they have it, there is no danger. Options waiting in the middle here. Chris Rigg happy to go on his own. It's beautifully done until the final ball. It sums up a lot of this game, really. Gelder only has eyes for the corner. Underlines the fragility of the Sunderland lead.
Big chance there for Sunderland though. Once again, terrific football. They're not feeling the pressure. Keeping the ball, working its way to Rigg. Lovely nutmeg. Doesn't quite get the cross right.
Grant, one final West Bromwich Albion push. Sunderland defending, not just in 1s, but in 2s, in 3s. Doing their level best to get themselves across the line here.
So impressive the way they played Sunderland in the second half. Very calm on the ball, even at this stage of the game. Terrific from Sunderland, not panicking, frustrating the opposition. So it's such a mature performance for so many young players out there.
O'Nine's header, free kick Sunderland's way. And that should do it for them. They are delighted. What a ride this season has been for them. That's it. It's another damaging day for West Bromwich Albion's promotion push, as Sunderland continue their impressive momentum and strengthen their grip on fourth spot. It was a game which the hosts dominated for large parts, but didn't make their pressure tell. Trey Hume's powerful free kick winning the day, helped by some questionable goalkeeping from Joe Wildsmith. It's just 2 wins in 9 for West Bromwich Albion now, who have hit the buffers at just the wrong time. But Sunderland all but rubber stamp a playoff spot and approach the season finale in fine fettle. West Bromwich Albion 0, Sunderland 1.